Ready, go!
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
The moment of heart rate feeling, Spirito Santi.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Welcome to the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast presents Schlock Talk, where we watch hot-ass trash so you don't have to. As always, I'm Joey, and this episode, I'm joined by my very good friend. He's kind of well known in the fighting game community, and so I brought him on here to do something a little bit different this week. A little different. This is my good friend Devon. How are you doing today, my friend?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? I've never been part of a podcast before, so this is going to be great, and we have a good one for you this time. We really do. Oof.
See, look, he said he's never even been part of one, but he's already he already knows what to do. Don't let this fool you. He's on streaming stuff all the time. You can find him on his Twitch channel,
Yes.
Blank October,
Yes.
playing all the fighting games, a little bit of Forza, right?
Forza, basically anything, but mostly Forza, fighting games, Destiny, Halo, a little bit of COD, just basically whatever I'm feeling. I've been on Mario Kart a lot more now because the new DLC came out.
All right, that's pretty hot.
Y'all want to get smoked, you know where to find me.
Yeah, go find him on Twitch at Blank October, on Twitter at Blank October. He's pretty active all over the place. So if you're into that kind of premium content, he's the man to go see. So, since it's your first time on here, I'm going to ask you some questions. But first, just let everybody kind of know, we actually randomly met in GameStop, right?
Yeah, because I'm friends with one of your former coworkers, freaking Cody.
Yeah, Cody's Story, right?
Yep, Cody's Story.
So
Shout out to Toxic Story.
I was about to say, that's Toxic Story. You can also find him streaming video games in a lot of places, and him and his lady friend. So, but yeah, big up to Cody. We've been friends for a long time, since he was Emo Cody. Looked like he could have been in one of them emo bands back in the day.
He looked like he probably could have been in this movie that we're about to talk about.
Oh, no, don't put that evil voodoo on him.
I hope he doesn't watch this episode.
I'm gonna make sure he does now. I'm gonna send it to him. So anyway, love you, Cody. We need to hang out. We need to do another gaming session. You actually can, if you go into the special playlist on the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast channel. There is a game night with Toxic Story. It's from a couple of years ago, but it is a lot of fun. And I do think we were playing Mario Maker, and I think a little bit of Mario Kart. Ooh. And our buddy Ashuwar, my boy Christian Blackburn, jumped in and played us online and smoked all of us, made us look like noobs. So shout out to Ashuwar. He's another big time gamer. He does a little bit more of the JRPGs and anime girl games and stuff. That's kind of his bag. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So met him in the GameStop. I'm pretty sure that it sparked because you had on a Bullet Club.
I had on my old Bullet Club hoodie. It's I think it was their first hoodie, right?
Yeah.
I got it for cheap off of Hot Topic one day, and that's what sparked it, man. Because found out he was a big wrestling fan, so pretty much after that, it's just me coming over to his place, watching wrestling pay-per-views, other old wrestling events, kind of just shooting the shit about all that. Honestly,
I mean, would you say that it was too sweet?
I would say it was too sweet. I can't see us right now, but copyright.
Yeah, copyright. We don't want to get a cease and assist from up in Connecticut.
Oh man.
So, but yeah, for those who aren't aware and can gather from that, the Bullet Club is a wrestling faction, mostly in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it has been in parts of promotions such as Ring of Honor and currently in Impact. Jay White was on AEW, so they've been in everything but the WWE. But then you had the Balor Club, and you had the Club,
the Club. The OC.
Yeah.
Like,
just former Bullet Club members forming stuff. But Bullet Club is basically, they're like, hey, we all grew up and we love the NWO and the DX for all you kids that grew up watching, or kids, adults, whatever, grew up watching wrestling into the 90s into early 2000s. So that's kind of where the play on that comes from.
Yeah, they definitely captured that essence of how that was.
For sure.
Yeah, they really do.
And real quick, while we're talking about some wrestling, first off, I want to wish a speedy recovery to Big E. He took a very bad injury. He broke his neck. I don't think he's going to gold medal like Kurt Angle, but he did break his neck, unfortunately. And then just a day or two after that, the late great Razor Ramon Scott Hall passed away. Now he's the bad guy in the sky. But for all of those, everything that we have going on in the world right now, remember, bad times don't last.
But bad guys do. Yes.
So, hey, yo. That being said, we're going to, before we get completely off on a wrestling tangent, this isn't a wrestling podcast, but maybe that's an idea for later.
Write that down. Write that down. We might need that after a couple weeks.
So, and this is the first time we haven't seen each other in quite a long time. I've been in my new place for over a year, and this is his first time coming over. Life and all of that. So,
I've just been a hermit. Rona, I never caught it. I'm on a winning streak right now. Oh, I know you and Carl had it, but listen, look, because if I get this shit like tomorrow, I just got the booster today.
You're gravy trained. You're gonna feel like shit tomorrow, but you're gravy trained.
It's about to be terrible. I'm popping Tylenol and drinking hella water tonight. I am preparing.
He's like, it works for a hangover. Maybe it'll work for this booster shit.
It did the last time. I didn't feel anything the last two times, so.
Nice. All right.
We'll see.
Well, this is, before we get into the questions, we are, just so everyone is aware, we are going to watch the 2010 movie King of Fighters, based off the video game franchise of the same name that has been, it was made by SNK, and we're going to get into a little bit of that more later. So I'm going to ask the normal movie questions, but I'm going to ask extra questions, and that is why, is because we are talking about the fighting game. And Devon is here because, like he said, when we were talking about a stream a little while ago, you're a sponsored fighting game streamer, right?
Yeah, I'm part of an org called Vastalorde Gaming now. Yes, I'm not Witch Doctor anymore. Yeah, I'll tell you about that later. But I'm part of Vastalorde Gaming. Mostly they do NRS titles, so like, Mortal Kombat 11 and stuff. But they have been branching out more a little bit into Guilty Gear. And they're probably going to look at some more stuff like down the future when more things start coming out and all that. But they brought me on mostly for content creation and to help out with events as far as like commentary and stuff like that with another one of their content creators that actually run a lot of, great events. Mr. Black Jesus, that's literally his name.
Michael Jordan?
No. But shout outs to Black Jesus, man, because honestly, without him, I probably wouldn't have even been looked at to get that position. So, yeah, big shout outs to him. You can check him out on twitch.tv/BlackJesus2121. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he actually, it's Wednesday and Fridays his days. He's running this joint event called Sink or Swim. So if you want to see some really hype MK11 action, it's single elimination. We got a lot of money in the pot now. It's over a stack now. And people are just trying to qualify for the top 16 coming up in a few weeks. So if you want to check that out, like I said, twitch.tv/BlackJesus2121. And usually I'm on the mic with him for that. So if you want to hear me do a lot of commentary, if you think the voice is, check me out.
So Devon here is very, very animated. He does a very good job at commentation. when we watch pay-per-views together and shit, he marks out like crazy.
I'm a fan of a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, I think we are both fans.
Yeah.
And I think we both get excited about a lot of the same things, which is, why we're good friends. So, without further ado, so I do know that you haven't, I know a lot of people who are coming on first time kind of listen and go and get kind of prepare these questions. This kind of came together really quick and it just kind of happened, so there wasn't like time for him to go and prepare. So bear with us. It's only going to be a few questions. But since we are here to talk about movies, let's talk about what is your favorite genre of movie?
Favorite genre, like hands down, probably anything dealing with martial arts. I grew up watching a lot of like Bruce Lee and Jet Li and just all that type of stuff, right?
My dude.
Yeah, that's what my dad brought me up on mostly. He had all the Bruce Lee movies like on DVD and stuff. So like, if he like say like away for a weekend or something, I'm usually in the house. I'm probably playing Halo 2 at the time, Halo 2, and on the side watching like dang, I forgot which one was like my favorite, but just watching all of them, because I just watch all of them like in a day. Nice. It doesn't matter. So yeah, definitely anything martial arts, which probably explains why I'm into fighting games so much, and just anything like combat sports or anything.
Very true. I'm a big fan. I always talk about how much I grew up watching like Kickboxer,
yes,
and Bloodsport.
Bloodsport is another great
Roadhouse.
One. Yeah.
So that's also directly right in my wheelhouse. I really loved the Raid 2.
Oh, the Raid movies were so good.
They come for us at night.
The Night Comes for Us.
The Night Comes for Us. Yeah.
That movie was dope.
Anything with Donnie motherfucking Yen.
Yes.
That is his name. It is Donnie motherfucking Yen.
You have to include the motherfucking. You have to.
Yeah. Sorry, we're demonetized, YouTube. You can fuck off. With that being said, so we got your favorite genre. What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, man. Return of the Dragon.
Return of the Dragon.
Yeah.
All right. That's one I still need to see, because I actually haven't seen a ton of Bruce Lee movies. I got the Criterion box set. We've only dipped into one, but I've got that box set. I got Once Upon a Time in China box set now to watch, so I've got all of those movies. I've got like all the Zatoichis. Like, I've got a whole bunch of martial art movies I got to fucking watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a favorite director.
Favorite director? You know what's funny? Like, I hardly actually really pay attention to directors like that.
That's fair. I mean, that's reasonable.
I mean, of course, you got the ones that stick out. Steven Spielberg.
He's like
folks on that level.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he is like the predominant filmmaker, especially from our childhood. I mean, I think you're a little bit younger than me, but like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like the wonder and amazement of Jurassic Park and E.T. Like. And then, like going back and you watch something like Jaws, which is a classic movie in general, but definitely a classic all-time top 10 horror movie. Like, he's made some of the best bangers of all time.
Now, I'll say this, though. I think I can give you one, and it's pretty much within, like, my second favorite genre, which is, like, I'll blanket it all together as, like, horror.
Okay.
But it's more for like zombies, so I'll say George A. Romero.
Oh, and somewhere in the other room, Carl has poked his head up. So
yeah, I love going back and watching, especially like older horror movies. The effects are, when you look at them now, they're bad and stuff like that. But it has a certain charm, and honestly, for some reason, with how practical and limited stuff was, as far as like the effects and all that, it makes it creepier.
I mean, it does. It also, what they had to work with and the ingenuity of the things that they did.
Right. That takes a special mind to put a lot of that stuff together.
Did you ever watch a movie called Fanboys?
Yes.
So the one where they're about Star Wars, where they talk about, the old ones have the puppets and stuff, but so like some of that stuff does make it better. Some puppets and stuff look bad, but like you take something like I mentioned Jurassic Park, that's a really good example. It used a lot of animatronics. Yeah. And then people talk about how the special effects hold up so many years later, because as much as they could wasn't special effects.
Practical effects, like, still to this day, they matter.
Yeah.
If you can use them and use them good, you got some of the best stuff out there.
I mean, and like I hate that like blood now is all CGI. Because you get someone, like they don't like CGI on the shirts and stuff. Like it's fucking like Kara Serp and like food coloring.
That's all you need.
It's cheap.
That's all you need.
It's
all
so
you need.
cheap. But anyway, all right. Do you have like a favorite actor or actress or one of each? Or
I would say I'd give you one of each. Favorite actor. I know it's not going to be Bruce Lee. Like even though he was great at what he does, but I mean he's just acting as Bruce Lee. I mean, you know, it's what it is. But favorite actor, man, that's tough. I guess keeping it within like the martial arts family, I would say Michael Jai White. I love any movie he's in, and then kind of in a tie with him though would be Denzel.
Oh, I mean Denzel's
Any
great.
Denzel movie.
Oh, we were talking about movies with badasses, The Equalizer.
I love the Equalizer movies.
Oh
the first one definitely better than the second one.
The second one was still good.
That second one was still badass.
My man.
Yeah, and then of course, Training Day.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, the King Kong. King Kong ain't got shit on me, baby.
Yo, and then
flashbacks.
actress, man. Like this is gonna sound really basic, but probably Scarlett Johansson.
My dude.
Y'all know why.
She's a great actress.
No, she honestly is though.
She really is.
She honestly is.
She's a great actress, and obviously she's just very, very attractive.
Yeah.
Anybody with eyes.
Yeah.
But she also, the thing we were talking about before we started recording,
Y'all don't want to know.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go there. We're just going to leave that alone. We're going to keep going.
Boy.
Because, yeah, ScarJo's definitely one of my favorite as well. Actually, I keep a running list of all the new movies I watch every year, and I rank them. And right now, one of her movies is number one.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's Marriage Story. I don't know why it's called Marriage Story. It definitely should be called something else. But it's it's fantastic, and I do recommend it. But be prepared. That is not a Netflix and chill movie.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So what was the first movie to you that was more than a movie? So it was more that it either resonated with you, it inspired you, or you're like, man, this is arty as fuck. Like whatever, just something that was the first one that was more than a movie.
So, because I'm trying to like keep it like outside of just the Bruce Lee movies.
Nah, dude, if that's what it is, do it, man.
It's not that like, you know, I like to keep variety. You know what I mean?
It is the spice of life.
I would say, because we're about to be shortly here on the topic of fighting game movies, and we'll probably have an episode about this movie soon. The first Mortal Kombat movie.
All right.
So I don't know what it is, but like it came out at a time. I was really young. I was playing the Mortal Kombats that were out then. You know, really just getting into it. My family really big into Mortal Kombat as well. So they took me to that movie, and I was captivated. Of course, I was younger, so I didn't know how wrong a lot of stuff was. But I was like, oh my god, you know, this is the game I play that I love, that my mom somehow beats my ass in every time, and it's on the big screen. This is cool. Like Shang Tsung, look, Kerry Tagawa. To see you again in MK11 made my inner child scream in terror because you were scary in that movie.
Your soul is mine.
He was scary in that movie.
Right?
He was so good. Nobody else is Shang Tsung to me. Like the new guy they had for the new movie, he did a great job. But come on, man. Come on. But yeah, definitely the first Mortal Kombat movie.
I mean, that movie was pretty lit, I'm not even going to lie.
It was.
All right, so what was your favorite experience watching a movie, whether in the theater or at home, just something that sticks out?
I would say the one weekend that me and my father, we actually had a Lord of the Rings marathon.
Oh boy, yep. All right, that's a whole weekend.
Yeah. I don't know why we did it. He was just like, you want to watch all of the Lord of the Rings? Like, yeah, we stayed in the whole weekend ordering pizza and stuff. We just watched them all. Return of the King was definitely like my favorite one. It was more actiony. So, you know, I gotta have my action. I gotta have a decent dose of that. But yeah, I think that was the most memorable experience. It was either that or when we went to go see the first of the prequels for Star Wars. And my dad leaned over and told me, so you know that kid right there, Anakin, you know he's Darth Vader, right? And I was younger, so I was like, no. And then we got to the third movie, and I was like, No way.
The spoilers. He spoiled it out for you.
Dad, you kind of an asshole for that one. But you know what? No, listen. It was good info, and it's, you know...
And it still blew your mind.
It still blows your mind.
He's like, you remember 6 years ago when we were sitting... Fucking told you so, didn't I, son?
He looked at me, and I was like...
Got you. All right. So now we're going to get some special questions just for you because it pertains to our subject matter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you're going to get some extra questions. You feel special.
I do.
All right. So what was like your intro to video games in general?
Intro to video games in general, believe it or not, even though I'm probably the biggest Mortal Kombat fan ever, was actually Street Fighter 2. Yeah. The classic. Even before Super Turbo, like it was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, and my favorite character was E Honda, because he did the slaps and stuff, and I thought it was always funny that a fat guy was over here, you know, doing headbutts and everything, but
and just dashing, just flying across,
just
bulleting. Yeah.
I always thought that was so hilarious. My uncles used to always beat me at that game.
I remember. Going into Walmart, which at the time in Florence was our only Walmart. It wasn't a super Walmart; those did not exist yet. It was a Walmart.
Oh, the little Walmarts!
And for those of you who are in my area, it is where like the Badcock and the Cons are now, behind the Golden Corral. And I did say that intentionally that way, but it's behind the Golden Corral, and that was where Walmart was. And you walked out and you turned to the left. In the little entryway where they had the carts and shit was an arcade cab of Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
And then, you used to go to Pizza Hut and they had like, I guess it was more SNK games. So they're probably actually King of Fighters, I think.
Definitely. They probably wanted to keep their expenses down. Because that's some background. We can get into that in a little bit when we start getting into the movie, when we start like really talking about like what KOF is about. But I'll say, yeah, to keep expenses down, they probably had just the SNK Neo Geo cabinet.
Yeah. But I still remember that. I remember having Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Mm-hmm. Or it might have just been Street Fighter 2 Turbo, whichever one. But I didn't really understand anything about like how to do button motions and stuff to do the moves. And I remember my cousin... Actually, oddly enough, my cousin Danny, the one who has done the theme music for our podcast here, he could do the Hadoukens and the hurricane kicks and the uppercuts and all of that.
Okay.
But he would, of course, being a kid and, he was my cousin, and like, I'm not going to tell you shit.
Right.
So,
look, back in those days, like, if it was like the arcade gaming era, like, nobody was really like telling you how to do anything. You put your quarter up, you hope you know that, and if you didn't, you lost that quarter. Like, that was just how it was.
Yeah.
And now you got all these resources, all these Discords and Reddit posts about stuff, people putting out videos and all that. It's definitely different, I can tell you.
For sure. All right, so that is kind of actually answers the next question, which was your intro to fighting games. Which, I guess, hold on, let's back up. So, my intro to video games that I remember is going to be Mario and Duck Hunt on the NES. Because I'm an old bastard.
Hey.
But, also we had Mario 2, we had Dr. Mario, we had Mario 3, we had Pac-Man, which I played like crazy.
I love Pac-Man. Pac-Man is still one of my favorite games of all time. I'll go back and play... even like Championship Edition or something on the Switch.
Pac-Man is great.
Yeah.
They had one on the arcade on the 360, and I like got all the achievements for it. And I played it like crazy.
Look, let me tell you, man. Look, you gotta understand what the best game on earth is, though, and that's Tetris.
Oh,
Tetris was another one I played a lot when I was a kid.
Played so much Tetris 99 when I had a Switch.
Oh, man.
The joke was that I didn't have a Switch, that I had a Tetris machine. All right, so what would be... So your intro to fighting games was Street Fighter...
Well, Street Fighter 2... Now, I'll say this, though. My intro to really being, deep into the fighting game community, the FGC, was actually the first Injustice.
Oh, boy.
Believe it or not.
Which is just Mortal Kombat.
No, okay, so Mortal Kombat 9 was like when I started seeing like, wow, people are actually like, like they're really trying to do this like for real. That's when I started watching like the MLG stuff and all that. I was like, I want to start doing that. I want to be involved with this community like that. So I remember starting to go to tournaments and stuff when the first Injustice was out. And my first opponent was Rico Suave. Shout outs to Rico Suave. You beat my ass. I hate Black Adam.
So for the record, he loves Black Jesus, hates Black Adam.
Black Adam. I don't want to watch the movie with The Rock.
I was about to say, man, Dwayne Johnson's going to come for you, fam.
Nah, let me stop. No, I'm definitely looking forward to that movie, though.
I mean, dude, The Rock, let's be real.
He looks like Black Adam.
I mean, okay, also both of us being wrestling fans, like,
yeah.
The Rock is a superstar in wrestling. He's a legend. He's now a legend in acting.
We got to watch it. We got to support.
At this point, The Rock could be like, just whatever he says, it's gonna succeed because he puts the time and effort into it. He also has the money and the resources, but he actually puts the effort into it.
He really tries really hard with this acting stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, I'd say first intro to fighting games, definitely Street Fighter 2. First intro into getting into the community was actually Injustice Gods Among Us, which is
a fantastic game.
I think it was great. It was great. It was broken. But what really good fighting game honestly isn't broken
in some way that you can abuse it.
Let's be real. We played Marvel.
So my first fighting game was, as far as I know, was also Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
I definitely played some different Mortal Kombats between Sega and different stuff, but I was never really like crazy into them. I actually really never like have been a huge Street Fighter fan. Like all the characters are iconic, and I know them, and I definitely remember being super excited to watch the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude back in the day.
Oh boy, we're gonna have an episode about that too.
Oh yeah,
look out for that.
The plan is we're gonna do some episodes on these fighting games under the Schlock Talk banner. So I'm pretty excited for it. You guys should be too, because then you don't have to watch that hot ass trash because we did it for you, baby.
You probably already watched it though. Let's be real. Everybody's watched the Street Fighter movie.
And if you haven't, you're young and you should go back and watch it.
Please do. It's honestly cinema history. It really is. How like, comically bad it was.
Bruh.
It's history. You gotta check that out.
Alright, so what is your favorite game / your favorite franchise?
So my favorite game is Mortal Kombat, brought to you by Midway / NetherRealm Studios.
Midway, baby. Midway.
Yes, Midway. You haven't heard that in a while, have you?
NFL Blitz in the house.
Oh my god, I love the Blitz, dude. Oh, I love the Blitz.
Again, arcade day, baby. Arcade day.
Yes, and I played it like basically exclusively on the cabinet, honestly, until like the League came out. And I loved Blitz the League. Make another one. Blitz the League was cool. And number 2 was cool too, but yeah, man, Blitz on the cabinets was like something special.
Yeah, but back when Blitz came out, they had NFL licensings, and I guess soon they'll be able to do that. Madden ain't got the.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite game. And what was the other question part?
Franchise.
So there you go. So wait, you know what? All right. So franchise Mortal Kombat. So I'll say my favorite Mortal Kombat game, to be specific, is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Oh, nice.
Me and my family actually used to play that a lot together. I think that was like, I played number 1 and 2, but those weren't like the absolute like first ones I really dove into. The first one was actually MK3. And of course, when Ultimate came out and stuff, we used to always go to the arcade and play it together. My mom was a mean-ass Sindel. Gotta throw that out there. Shout out to you, Mom. My dad was a pretty good Sub-Zero as well, and I was always a Scorpion player. I'm always a Scorpion fan. And he's my favorite character in, like, anything. Put Scorpion in Fortnite, and I'll play Fortnite. Like, that's how big Scorpion is. Like, I mean,
he is an iconic. Him and Sub-Zero.
They are Mortal Kombat.
They are Mortal Kombat, much to the same way I think you could say Ken and Ryu are Street Fighter.
They are. Mm-hmm.
Even though you have, and both of them have other iconic characters.
They
People
do.
Outside of, most everyone knows who Chun-Li is.
Yeah.
Most anybody is going to know.
They know, like, Sonya
and Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung and Liu
Goro.
Goro. Especially Goro.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Goro.
So I mean, yeah, there are definitely a lot of iconic characters between those. I'm looking forward to talking about those going forward.
Oh yeah.
So I guess my favorite franchise, man, like this is hard because I haven't been keeping up with games as much in the last few months. But I played games most of my life, and for anybody's listened to the podcast, I mean, we all know I used to work at GameStop. I kind of wouldn't blatantly say that for reasons, but I don't work there anymore. So if by the chance you are on Reddit at r/GameStop, that shit is true. To varying degrees. I did not deal with some of the shit they did in other places, but it's all true in varying degrees.
I imagine. Look, just with me working retail for how long I have,
we could have a whole nother series about that.
I've seen our GameStop or whatever. I know. Yeah. I get it. I completely do.
So I think right now, if we're going to do my favorite game at least right now is Elden Ring. That's what I've been playing like crazy.
That game looks so good.
It is so good. The Souls games in general is a franchise I did not think I was going to like, but I do really enjoy it. But I think like it's hard. So I mean, NCAA franchise,
yes.
Guitar Hero Rock Band franchise is great. Fucking Halo has to be Halo,
of course.
But some of my favorite games of all time. I mean, Link to the Past.
Okay.
Link to the Past. Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Reach. Binding of Isaac. Elden Ring was great. The Last of Us Part 2. And Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima is like my favorite Sony game ever.
Oh my god! Point. It's basically what I'm playing in Elden Ring is Ghost of Dark Souls because I'm a dual wielding samurai.
You're doing the samurai, yeah.
Of course. So I mean, there are others. Those were all heavy hitters. So, do you have a favorite character from across video games?
That would be Mr. Hanzo Hasachi, better known as Scorpion.
I kind of figured
representing the Shirai Ryu clan. He's reforming it, and even though Devora killed one of them in MK11, I need her to go away. We're gonna have another one. He's still here. We got some redemption. Let's go, Hasachi. Yeah.
Speaking of Devora, it was my main in MK10 and 11.
You know what? She was one of my mains too.
She's so good.
I liked her until that happened in 11.
All right. So I mean, I think. Oh, my favorite character. Oh, man. See, I wrote these questions and I didn't really think of the answers because I wasn't thinking. I was like, oh, yeah, I need to answer these. Because I don't answer typically all of the movie questions because I've talked about movies for 3 years online. They're out there somewhere. I mean, Master Chief is a big one.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think Master Chief would be like my number 2.
Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. Definitely up there. Ellie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out there and just throw the Ellie and Abby from Last of Us 2. I know a lot of people hate Abby, but she's just the other side of the coin that is Ellie. I don't even think that's that controversial of a statement, but saying that you like her, I think is. Aloy. Aloy is great.
Aloy is so cool, man.
Kratos.
Kratos, of course.
I mean...
Can't wait for a Ragnarok.
Boy.
That's going to be great.
So... Lot of big characters there. I mean, Lara Croft, the reboot.
I like the reboot. Lara Croft a lot.
In like 2013.
She's more real.
All right. Well, normally we only spend about 30 minutes. We hadn't even got to the movie yet. So we're doing real.
This is how you know how good of a friends we are. Like we just look, man. It's just for whatever. You know, we're in there. We're watching whatever and. Oh man!
All right, so here we go. So we're going to talk about the King of Fighters.
Yep,
it is a 2010 American science fiction martial arts.
So
film.
There's your first problem right there: science fiction,
and it is keyword here: loose,
loose,
very loose adaptation of SNK's best-selling fighting game franchise. So it did come out in 2010. Let's see. It came out August 31st, 2010 in Canada. It does not show when it came out in America.
We don't want to remember this movie.
Yeah. So, it had a budget of $12 million, which is the highest budget I've had on this show so far. I think previous to this was either Leprechaun or Cyborg. Leprechaun was $1 million. I think Cyborg was under $1 million, but they already used stage stuff from another movie that had failed, so they kind of...
They saved money.
Yeah, they saved money. So this movie had $12 million, and unlike some of the other movies that had a theatrical release like Leprechaun, where it had a good ROI, I don't remember the exact number, but you can go back and listen to the episode, and I'll tell you, they made $2.37 million. So about $10 million loss.
You should have heard how hard we were laughing at that before we turned this thing on. Oh, man. That's awful. That's like investing in crypto.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Shout out to all my crypto bros out there. Y'all making a mistake. All right. Let's move on.
Please tune in to twitch.tv/blankoctober to hear investment tips and advice and him flame on video game fellow streamer Melanie Mac.
Hey, listen, Melanie, listen. If you somehow catch wind of this, at least follow my stream first. Then you can say whatever you want.
You got to start playing Tomb Raider.
I got to start playing Tomb. We have them. Do we have them all? I think me and Sam have them all. Fuck it. I'm in.
Boy, we have went way the fuck off the beaten path tonight, baby. I'm here for it.
We in there.
So, on top of it, lost $10 billion. So, I wonder how much of this was spent for Maggie Q. She's definitely was like the biggest star.
Because let's be real, like everybody else, like we've seen them in other stuff. Like, let's go back up for a second. Well, there you go. David Leech?
So, I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
the guy that... Yeah,
he's a stunt coordinator.
Oh!
Yeah, he did the stunt quarter for this. So, he was a stunt double for Brad Pitt, apparently.
He does kind of like...
And Jean-Claude.
You could kind of see it.
He won 2 awards for Bourne Ultimatum.
Yeah, okay.
So, I want to say, yep, that's it. He is an uncredited director for John Wick.
So, he knows action.
And he also did Atomic Blonde and Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw. And he has a movie coming out, the Bullet Train movie that's coming out later this year that looks pretty dope. So he does know action. But he was in this movie, and boy, he played Terry Bogard.
Terry Bogard, are you okay? Power wave,
So I'm going to be real, I don't know a ton about KOF. I know who some of the characters are. I think anybody that's worked in video games knows who Mai is, knows who Terry Bogard is.
Yeah.
Ichimori. Iori?
Yeah, Iori Yagami.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know Iori because of my buddy Troy, who also plays a lot of fighting games very well. I think y'all actually, it would be an interesting thing for me to watch you two guys play fighting games. But back in college, he had a fighting game called Mugen.
Yeah.
Which is like...
You want to blow up your computer? Get Mugen. There you go.
Oddly enough, he was running on an Alienware, since that was it. Back when Alienwares were good. This was in like 2003, fam.
So hold up. Because y'all don't understand. Y'all got to watch this film and understand why I'm over here actually having a breakdown over him saying Alienware.
So, who the fuck? Okay, whatever. But he had Iori, and he had his big boss or whatever, the guy with the tonfas in the suit.
Yeah, that's a Eagle.
Eagle, yeah. I try calling him Big Boss Man, like he's gonna come out dressed up as a prison guard and
fucking cop.
hit you with the spine buster. But he had that and tons of people where they just ripped him. I remember he had Iori fighting Rurouni Kenshin. And because it's like an open source game, and you
literally can put in anybody.
Yeah,
whoever has a render, you literally can put him in the game.
Yeah, so that was how I got introduced to actually King of Fighters way back in the day. So I don't know a ton about the characters and like the storyline. I don't need to know the storyline to know that this was hashtag hot ass trash. Hot ass trash.
Fucking garbage.
No, that's a fucking bad, putting the bad juju on garbage.
Garbage has more significance in respect.
So, first off, before we really get into anything fucking else, because I know Devon's going to have some stuff to say about the different characters and shit, I've got 2 things I need to say Like, literally, I could say this about this movie and probably be done with it. So, they fight in an alternate universe. How to get to said alternate universe is you put a BlackBerry, yes, official BlackBerry Bluetooth earpiece in your ear. Now, you're like, how does that transform you to an alternate reality? Well, baby, let me tell you. Are you ready? Because this shit is the tits. There's these 3 magical artifacts that had trapped a mythical being called the Orochi. I'm gonna prevent you from getting shot by every person who plays KOF. Yeah, but they said Orochi.
Oh yeah. So listen, watch this movie. You're gonna see how many things they mispronounce, bro. How many times did we hear Iori?
But somehow somebody was a genius and took the essence from those artifacts and imbued them into those fucking earpieces, and they transformed you into an alternate reality, which we found out later that you could watch on live stream. It wasn't stream, but live stream on the Alienware computers. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing you need to know, kind of the bullshittery we're dealing with. So there's another part where Terry Bogard, who's a CIA agent, excuse me, not to confuse the two. He is CIA.
Look, they're all pigs, bro. Like real stuff, man. They're all like, look, listen.
You don't like bacon?
I love bacon.
You don't like sausage?
But only in food form.
All right. Again, tune in to Blank October on Twitch TV to hear some.
They already know where to find me. It's the FBI and the CIA.
Well, that's true, because all they got to do is pull out their phone, and all of a sudden they can hack this super cryptid Alienware. And why and how? Because I'm the CIA. That's literally the reason, because I'm the CIA. Nothing else, nothing. Oh, there's a program on my phone, or I'm sorry, not on his phone, on his BlackBerry. Now I see why that company went the fuck out of business, fam. And then the other thing that fucking gets me, I can overlook that Maggie Q is Vietnamese and playing a Japanese person. That does not bother me as much as it does some people. But if that bothers you, that is a thing. Maggie Q is an American who's Vietnamese, Polish, and Irish, I believe, who grew up in Hawaii. She plays a Japanese character. She plays Mai. Doesn't even have any goddamn fans, and she doesn't wear red. But the thing that bothers me is Kyo, who's apparently one of the main characters.
Oh, God.
He is Japanese. In this movie, he is fucking white. He is the son of a Japanese guy. They show his father, who is Japanese, and this dude is white as fuck.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now, like, within the actual realm of KOF, he's not even adopted. He's just from Japan. I pointed out, Nagoya, Japan. He's just Japanese. And here he's played by Sean Ferris. He's played by the kid that was on Never Back Down.
Not only that, so if you look at the movie poster, Maggie Q is front and center.
Yeah.
And that's Mai.
That's Mai.
Mai is the main character in this fucking movie.
She's never been the main character in any of the games, bro.
But she is the main character in this movie, right? Would you not say? Okay.
Yeah.
Until the fucking end, when this movie that's based on Asian characters had 2 fucking white guys fight with katanas.
You know, like, listen, y'all.
Oh, I'm sorry. After was it Kyo who cut Yori across the back and released the Orochi from him, so he's no longer like playing both sides of the field. So he did that. He saved the Japanese guy and then fought the all-powerful white bad guy, both with katanas, to trap him with the mythical katana that his Japanese father gave him. I cannot make that shit up.
It's dude. You know what I'm saying? Ray Park was Rugal, bro. Ray Park needs to stop.
I like that. He needs to stop. All right.
He needs to just stop.
And Ray Park.
No, I love Ray Park.
Oh,
I do,
look,
but like,
look.
fucking hell, man.
Oh, come on. He's fucking.
Yeah, he was Darth Maul.
He's Darth Maul.
He was that. That's why.
And
like,
he
can
Toad.
He can
And
actually
he was
fight.
Snake-Eyes. Yeah, no, he is like.
He can fight. But come on, man.
Like, I mean, you would think. Okay, so you have this guy who's like a stunt legend.
Yeah.
You have David Leech, who is a fucking stunt legend at this point,
Yeah.
action legend. What the fuck?
What happened?
If we could have had some good... I mean, not that the fight scenes were terrible, but they were not great.
Like, the fight scenes, honestly, were, like, surprisingly okay
I
in
would be
comparison
real,
to
if
the rest
they
of the
had
movie.
not done so much shitty CGI.
It probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
As a martial arts movie.
Yeah, and I get it. They're fighting games, they're trying to show the powers, all of that. I get it. I understand what they were doing.
They weren't even showing the powers right. Oh, we'll get into it.
But you would think between those two guys... Also, there was a person with the last name Yip in this movie, and the fucking action scenes fucking sucked. It was not Wilson Yip, but there was a person whose last name was Yip. What the fuck?
This game.
All right, you know what? All right,
movie.
dude, go into some shit about how the characters looked wrong or their stories or whatever.
All right.
You know all that shit. Hit.
Damn. All right, let's hit it. All right, gotta start at the top because, you're probably looking at the poster for this movie. You're like, that's Mai? Because I know what Mai looks like. That's Mai? Do I even need to say anything? Now, I will say this. It's probably really hard to find somebody that is that
Proportionate.
that endowed
Yeah, someone
to move around like that.
You're right.
It's not common that you're getting that. And we know for a fact that Hollywood is scared of that type of shit. We never really get that. We don't get that a lot. So, I get it. But you could have at least had her, like they kind of got her overconfidence now a little bit. But you can tell, like, progressively through the film, she was being way too serious. Maya hasn't been serious about shit. Like, at all. Like, in anything. Not even in DOA. Like anything. You know what I mean? Yes, she was in DOA, for all those who doesn't know. She's in DOA 5 and DOA 6. And yes, you have to buy her again in DOA 6. Anyway, so...
We'll talk about DOA. I've got some interesting stories about DOA overall. But we'll talk about that when we get to DOA.
But,
that has a lot of star power.
It really does, actually, which is surprising.
But we'll get to that one at some point. I don't know. We don't know the order. Just be prepared for if you just shitty fighting game movies coming out the end.
But they could at least had her wearing red. They could at least had her doing fire moves. She's supposed to do moves with flames as well. She was doing like lightning,
and her hair wasn't right.
Yeah,
she didn't have fans.
She didn't even have the fans. At least if she could have had fans in something like red and stuff like that, they could at least let us know that was actually mine. There was no way. If you didn't watch this movie with subtitles and you were loosely looking at this movie, you would not think that she was actually Mai Shiranui. That's my thing about these movie adaptations of these fighting games, right? There needs to be something on that person that reminds me of the character that they're playing. Like, look at the first Mortal Kombat movie was kind of shitty. You could tell that was Liu Kang. You could tell that was Johnny Cage. You can tell that was Sonya. You can tell that's who they were.
Right, exactly.
In this movie, most of the time you cannot tell who anybody was.
I mean, yeah, even going back to like Street Fighter, like from what I remember, you knew who Ken was.
Yeah, you knew that was Ken. You knew that was Ryu. You knew that was Guile. You knew that was Cammy.
I mean, yeah,
even, and I'm talking even before the pants blew up.
Yeah, so, I mean, you knew who the characters were.
Yeah,
they just kept introducing characters, and like, there's one scene where it starts out like we were watching on Pluto. Which is one of the places you can find it. We'll go over that a little bit at the end. But we were watching on Pluto. There were commercials. So we come out of a commercial, and there's this girl in a towel and another girl kind of in a suit. And they're, like, about to make out. And then all of a sudden, like, they put their fucking artifact-infused BlackBerry Bluetooth headphones in and teleport in. And then they're in, like, half-ass dominatrix outfits.
So those two were supposed to be mature in Vice, which are two usually on the bad side characters.
Bad side as in storyline or bad side as in tier?
Storyline. Like
Okay.
they're usually like
the villains.
They're basically heels.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be mostly heels, right? And I don't know how I caught on to that's who they were so fast, to be honest. Because I think the only way I got it was, and this was one of the few times in this movie that they actually had one of them looking like their character. Well, at least kind of this early on, because yes, they got introduced like kind of early in the movie. Mature. She had on the pantsuit. This is what she usually wears. Pantsuit. The blonde hair is up. There you go. That's the only way I knew that was mature advice, bro. That's the only way.
All right. So back to Mai. So we are looking at this poster right here. So I mean, and this is what she wore throughout the movie. She had on the thigh high boots with some, I guess, hose underneath and the garters holding them up. I guess those aren't garters, but
something.
The clips that hold them up to, I guess, a garter or her underwear or whatever.
And I get what they were trying to do.
Like don't get me, it's a good look.
They were trying to still
very
bring,
attractive.
Yeah, they were still trying to bring in the sex appeal of Mai Shiranui, because let's be real, the actual Mai Shiranui character is very not esports. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, she has. I mean, the legend within the gaming community of Sexy Mai. You know, her being naked is. And then, and we're gonna go Rule 34. That's probably one of the easiest ones in the world to find. So
she's on page 1. She's on page 1 consistently, probably.
You could probably just find her on YouPorn.
You can find her on basically anything that exists, guys. I'm telling you. Listen, if you really want to go that far, you know it's very easy. But yeah, I can see
just
that
don't do it in public.
Please don't.
Just don't. That's all NSFW shit.
You know what I mean? Don't scroll through your Twitter at work. Anyway,
or real Reddit.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, just don't.
Just leave your phone at home. Honestly, at this point.
No comment.
Just leave it at home. But anyway. So, yeah, I can tell they really tried to hit, like, the sex appeal factor with that. And, I mean, we all know Maggie Q is very beautiful. She's gorgeous. She is.
She just ain't got the proportions for that character. Which
it's like, which is
less important. That is a thing that can be... I mean, yeah, it's one of the things that make her iconic, but I remember, like, we were talking about, like, Tomb Raider, when they cast Angelina back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, she didn't have what the character was supposed to be rocking, but...
she is well endowed up there, and they did some, you know, I guess, lady magic stuff and Hollywood magic.
She worked it with what she had.
Yeah.
She definitely worked that role. I mean,
like, it's iconic, but if you go... Video games and shit drawn, like, are usually well out of proportion.
Yeah.
Like, I see all sorts of stuff, and you got these women, and, you know, they got a tiny waist, and then all of a sudden their hips are, like, 8 miles wide, and I'm like, boy.
Yeah, it's just not happening without, like, a bunch of surgery.
Yeah, like, it's not, like, looking like Kim K on the regular is not natural, typically.
That Mewtwo looking ass bitch.
Say what you will, she still doesn't deserve the shit that's happening with Kanye, even though she's dumb as fuck.
Nobody deserves any of the shit that Kanye's throwing at them. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. We're not here to talk about that. I will say, yeah, no, we're okay. I got nothing to say about Yeezy.
Makes good music though. I mean, but still, damn, you know.
I mean, it's ironic of the song that he had when I was in college, and then he married Kim K. But
that, you know what? It's like this was all like destined to happen.
Destino.
Oh
God, we're so bad at this. Because we just transitioned so seamlessly from a movie to pop culture, like real life celebrity couple, back to his album from 20 years ago, back to wrestling.
Guys, listen.
In the same conversation.
Guys, listen, this is how my streams are. Twitch.tv/BlankOctober. We can talk about anything over there. I'm probably switching games as we're talking about different things, like so much.
I mean, to be fair, this is how I typically, Carl and I will conversate, and there's pop culture references and everything. Like, it's ridiculous.
We got it all, man. We got it all.
So, it's one of those things, it's like, I can't remember who it was, but one of our friends was like, Joey by himself, he's loud, but it's not that bad. Devon by himself, he's loud, but it's not that bad.
Put us together.
And fucking boom goes the dynamite.
Oh man! All right, so we talked about Mai. Let's talk about Iori. I felt like Iori was honestly done like pretty well, which is crazy for me to give this film any sort of credit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of could have that look. You know, Iori's very brooding, you know, kind of dark, all that stuff. The thing I don't understand is that Mai and Iori are together. That has never happened.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely in that first scene where they're in. I guess it's like the second scene, and they're in the museum or whatever. They definitely are giving each other the "we're gonna fuck" eyes. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, Mai's trying to get that fucking kid made from fucking Andy Bogart. Where was Andy in this movie anyway?
Bro, okay, I don't even know if we have enough time to talk about all of the bullshittery in this movie, to be fair. So, but in the game, Iori usually has red hair, right? And he wears like a red jacket.
Red hair, usually kind of... They have the jacket right, kind of.
Yeah.
Because he usually wears like a darker colored jacket.
And doesn't he usually, like, he has like suspenders or something hanging?
It depends on the game.
Okay.
It depends on the game, because they changed up his design a little bit. Like in 15, the one that's out now, which is why we picked this movie, by the way. Because it makes sense. That's like the latest entry. It just came out like a few months ago. Great game, by the way. Hard as shit. Be prepared if you ever want to try it.
No, you actually ruined me on fighting games, and we'll go into that later whenever we hit into
With
like
the DOA.
DOA.
So yeah, his design has changed a good bit, but it still kind of retains that certain aesthetic. It's kind of like how they do the ninjas, the quote unquote ninjas in Mortal Kombat. Because they kind of have like that deep V going all the time. They always keep that aesthetic.
And some of them have it changed, so they're not all just sprite changes. Because
Exactly.
I mean, Reptile is now an actual reptile.
He's an actual reptile.
Yeah, Smoke is
Scorpion is like the actual ninja.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero, he's a grandmaster. Smoke is doing whatever the hell he's doing.
Noob Saibot is, and then we had the robot ninjas for a while. That was the whole. Anyway,
Ed Boon, bring him back, you coward. Anyway, Iori, honestly, they didn't do him that bad in this movie. My only problem is that he basically never had the purple flames.
yeah, because he usually shoots the thing across the floor,
There was almost none of that in this movie.
and doesn't he have like a claw attack where he just you can't see, but I'm like making claw.
Yeah,
motions.
like there was basically like besides his costume, whenever he goes into the virtual world or whatever, the other dimension, I don't know how the hell they put this shit together. You know, besides that, you really couldn't tell that was completely Iori. You know, he was in Witchblade.
Yeah, so apparently, so Will Yun Lee is the guy who played Iori. He was in Witchblade. He was also in Bionic Woman. He's been in Die Another Day, Elektra. That's another.
I remember him in Electro.
That was another great movie.
No, it wasn't.
The Wolverine, which was is the second best of the 3 solo Wolverine movies.
Yeah.
Not that it's hard to say because, well, the third one doesn't exist.
Are you talking about Logan?
No, Logan is the best one.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say Logan was top fucking tier.
Just Wolverine. The one that got the game made that was a God of War ripoff, but with Wolverine.
I got you. I mean, honestly though, that game was kind of fun for how.
Oh, he was in Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah,
So he's been in a lot of stuff. He was
the original body for Takeshi Kovacs.
Yeah, he did voicing Sleeping Dogs. So he's done.
He's Wei Shin. I didn't know he was Wei Shin. Oh shit! Make another Sleeping Dogs.
Also, he played a Japanese character, right?
And he is
Born in Arlington, Virginia. So born in America.
and he's Korean.
And he is Korean. So again, that doesn't bother me. Like I get maybe to why to some people it would, because there are differences. I'm not going to say all Asian people look the same.
They definitely don't. We don't condone people thinking like that either.
But to me, that doesn't bother me. Hey, this is an act. They're acting. They're playing a role.
But honestly, I think he was the one who filled his role the best out of everybody.
Yeah. So we're
so far.
So thinking about the time period, and we were talking about people that could have played Mai. Mm-hmm. People who are well endowed and are Asian.
At least a little better endowed. Just to give you the effect that that's my Shiranui. Because if you're a person that watches this movie, right? And you're like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and, let's look up who my Shiranui is. I wonder who this character is. God damn, they got this shit wrong. That's what you're gonna think.
So I pulled up a suggestion here on the screen. Someone that I know this gentleman I'm talking to is very familiar with.
Oh, shit.
I mean, she can fight.
Yes.
And she is stacked. She's definitely has some enhancements. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Would be one Gail Kim, who is a professional wrestler.
Yep.
Also married to Robert Irvine.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. No,
cool.
he's, for an old guy and a cook, he is fucking jacked city.
Them arms?
Yeah. She is Canadian American, so like I said, and she is. Let's see if it'll tell me.
No, I think this one's just gonna have stuff about her career.
Yeah, it's not. She is not Japanese. She's not of Japanese descent.
I don't think so. No, not at all.
But I mean, I think that she's very attractive. Mm-hmm. And Maggie Q is very attractive. Don't get me wrong. But Gail Kim very attractive. This also would have been 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So she would have been in her early 30s instead of her mid 40s like now. I mean, I think that would have been a good casting. Now, obviously, wrestlers blur the line between being actors and being athletes.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's always done pretty good character work. Maybe it wouldn't have been good enough to be in a movie, but let's be real. It couldn't have brought the movie. It wouldn't have made the movie any worse.
I think it would have gave us, at least like on a surface level, a more believable Mai Shiranui.
And maybe there's someone else. So, if anybody has seen this or goes and watches this, and you can think of someone that, whether they, they're well known in America or somewhere else, come leave the comment below in the comments, or email it, or hell, go in Blank October's stream and tell him. We'll definitely.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about this a lot more, because I always said that I was never going to watch this movie again, and now I had to watch this movie.
Like, to be fair, you picked it. I gave you options.
I had to go ahead and get it off the board, bro.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And this was in my original list for this podcast anyway, so it kind of worked itself out. I was kind of shooting for Street Fighter, and actually how this whole idea came about was because of Magic the Gathering, which is a game that I play, which is a trading card game. They've been doing these things called Secret Layers, and they've been...
The Street Fighter cards.
Yep. So they had... they've been doing... they've gotten some licensing recently and done some licensing for things outside of Magic. So they did a set where they did a lot of like kaijus and stuff, and they had alternate versions of the cards that were Godzilla, and then that led into a secret layer that they actually made characters from The Walking Dead. We just had one from Stranger Things, and they just announced a Street Fighter one, and that's actually kind of where I was like, ooh, Street Fighter, and that's kind of where it kind of originally blossomed from. So... But, all right, so next up, on the poster anyway, is Kyo, right?
Yeah, so,
So we already said that in the movie, he is supposed to be American Japanese. So did they say, is he adopted?
No, he's not.
Okay, so
not that I know of, or what I could actually find.
So he is, they never show the mom, talk about the mom. It's all about the son and the father. I'm a big up. So we'll say I am complaining that he's a white dude, clearly a white dude, playing the son of a Japanese guy. They didn't, I guess, going and getting like someone that was half Asian and half Caucasian, at least would have like aesthetically fit the bill. But thankfully, at least they didn't try to do makeup or prosthetics or something to make him look Asian.
Yeah,
that would have been much worse.
And we've definitely seen examples like that in some cases, in some films.
I mean, especially if you go back, even a beloved movie that's much better than this one, Breakfast at Tiffany's. You have a white dude who is straight up playing an Asian guy, and they've got him slanted eyed. They've got like the fake hillbilly teeth to make his teeth like bucked. Yeah, no, it's very atrocious. I mean, it was made in the 60s. It was a much different time. Obviously, It wasn't correct or right to do, but it was a thing that, like, you watch that movie, like, that's just...
It was accepted at the time. I'm glad we really don't have to do that anymore.
Right? Yes, exactly. So, I mean, at least if you're going to make him be a white guy, make him an American, even let's say it was because he auditioned the best for the role. Like, we'll just say that was the case.
Because I will say that Sean Ferris, he acted his ass off for that.
So, all you have to do is take 3 seconds and be like, yeah, he married my mom, and here's a picture of my mom, and you can see she's white. Like, there's so many ways.
Yeah,
to
they could have. They
slip that in there because now
they could have bullshitted it a little.
I mean,
bit.
yeah, because like, is he adopted? Because then if he's adopted, he doesn't have the last name, and then his ability to use the sword and the magic to fight the Orochi does not fucking exist.
Right.
Which, would be a giant plot hole in this movie that's probably nothing but plot holes. Man, Michael Bay would have a fucking field day with explosions in this bitch.
Michael Bay. Oof.
So, anywho, that's... I remember what you said while we were watching it. They at least got his costume mostly correct, right?
Mm-hmm. For Kyo.
Yeah, for Kyo.
So, when we got to the part where he actually started getting into that other dimension... Yeah, because they went with the version that, and I'm going to describe it for people that, kind of do, mess with KOF. Because honestly, like, I know about the characters and stuff, but I haven't really gotten to actually really playing KOF, honestly, until like 14, 15. Because this shit's hard, and I just didn't want to deal with that. And I'm an NRS player. So, like, they got the gauntlets, the black and gold gauntlets. They got the jacket that's kind of like a high school jacket almost. Got the collar and stuff like that. I don't think they had the Kusanagi logo on his back, which is supposed to be there as well. He also wasn't wearing a headband, though. And actually, if I can...
If in editing, if I remember to go and find some of these pictures, I will try to put... when we're talking about the characters.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
So they definitely kind of... It didn't have to be like full-on padded gauntlets, because here in the picture, and hopefully you remember to put the picture on, it's just like gloves or whatever. But yeah, it's got the logo. We got the rolled-up sleeves. We got the kind of high school jacket rolled up, but no headband.
And his hair's a little bit short, but I mean, okay, that's...
The hair was fine if, like, they just had.
I mean, that's closer.
But they did okay.
I mean, that's closer than Mai.
That's honestly closer than Iori too.
So I mean, like, I'll try to remember to put up like side by sides. If I don't, Google them.
You can tell they definitely tried harder with Kyo than they did. Honestly,
he was the secret main character. He was the secret main character. I mean, they give you the strong, independent female at the beginning, leading the way, which I'm all about in movies.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then they took it away and gave it to Homeboy. So then you got Terry Bogard, who most of the movie was in a suit and tie, like until the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then he's finally in the jacket with the trucker hat and stuff.
They don't even really explain why. They all go to the alternate reality, and he just shows up in his classic
I guess
gear.
it's supposed to be like an extension of themselves or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a reflection of personality or some shit. I don't know. They tried to find a cheap way to get them into some other costumes. And you would think when you do that and it's another dimension, right? Then you can get a little more creative with it and actually get them to be like more in tune with the video game counterpart. You would think they would try a little more.
That, and like say we're in an alternate dimension, so say they're wearing clothing that, in real life doesn't work because of gravity or whatever, or things would be exposed, etc., etc. So that wouldn't work in the real world. We're in an alternate dimension where now rules are different, so it doesn't fucking matter. And is that a cheap way to explain things? Yes, but that's one of those things where, like, hey, if you get the costume and designs right, a lot of people will overlook how bad something is if it aesthetically is pleasing.
Like, again, have the characters really remind me of those characters. It shouldn't be guesswork throughout the movie.
And we can talk about this more when we go into Mortal Kombat, but just for example, so we go back to 1995 and you look at that Mortal Kombat movie. That movie is actually not good.
It's really not.
But we, especially nostalgia, because I was 10 when that movie came out, and you remember how well all the characters look, but in the soundtrack. But if those characters don't look like that, then the movie's just terrible. Like, that movie is terrible. It's not even watchable terrible.
If you have to guess, unless it is the purpose of the movie to make you guess who that is, for some big giant, later down the line, like, plot thing, right? If you have to guess throughout a movie that is an adaptation who that character is, that's a huge problem. It shouldn't be who's that Pokemon through the whole movie.
Yeah,
it really shouldn't be.
And all you can do is have them say someone say their name, or if you have them look close enough. They don't have to be spot on. I get sometimes some of that stuff is tricky because what you can draw versus what you can really do is very different, and I understand that. But like this character, would have been a lot better, even as someone who didn't know all the characters.
Yeah.
If Maggie Q comes out, so she's not well endowed. Fair enough. That's fine. She's a great actress. But if she comes out in the Mai costume, or even if she's got a fan.
It could have even, and here's my thing. It could have even been this costume she has in this movie right now. If it was red.
Red and a fan.
And if she had a fan.
A fan. And
then you have to be two fans. It could be a fan.
Then you know. Terry Bogard, playing a fucking CIA agent. Like, why isn't he? Didn't you say he was like a nomadic person?
Yeah,
so he could have been like a bouncer, right? Like just a nomadic.
It could have been a bouncer. Like he gets part-time jobs when they're available.
Or so in the movie, Maggie Q, so Mai is an undercover CIA agent.
Mai didn't care about any of that shit. She just wanted to be the top in Japan.
Couldn't Terry be the undercover agent because he's a nomad and he goes around and then he can be in his iconic.
That probably could have been better. I mean, honestly,
like I'm not trying to say that I could write a better movie than these people because, like, I probably couldn't.
Bro, we probably could write better episodes of Monday Night Raw.
Well, I mean, the problem is we can write them all we want, but when Vince is like, "This sucks," it doesn't matter. But that's again, we need to start a wrestling podcast for the love of God.
So we go in on so much stuff. Oh my god!
All right. So we've talked about the shit in the plot. And we talked about how the characters look compared to what they look like in the game. Was there anything else that you really wanted to touch on?
As far as the plot,
anything, just anything, because the plot is the plot. Like, it's a tournament in alternate reality trying to stop Rygal, Darth Maul, from taking over. By merging the universes on top of one another.
We're just going to go ahead and call him Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Toad. Maul.
Darth Toad. I mean, I don't know where the hell they were going with this plot. Like, in general. It just seemed... They made it so confusing. Because KOF's story in general, it is kind of confusing anyway.
I mean, a lot of fighting games are, especially before they started... Like some of your newer, like Mortal Kombats and stuff,
because they started getting like cinematic,
and they got the story modes where you played as each character. Yeah. Because you play Mortal Kombat and you beat the game, you beat it with Sub-Zero, and there's an ending for Sub-Zero, and then you beat the game with Scorpion. There's an ending for Scorpion,
and then a lot of those aren't even canon. But then now they have the actual like straight up canon cinematic. So you
get all these endings, and then you go into the next game, and it's like, oh well, so and so's dead, and I'm like, well, that only happened in one ending. So is that ending real? But then something else from another ending. So now that they have this actual story modes, like Injustice 1, Gods Among Us, he was talking earlier, that has a great story mode.
They could have, they actually did do a movie for that, because I've always said they should do a movie for that.
It was an animated movie, right?
And it was animated, and it was okay. It was okay.
It probably, like, if you had told me that, like, Ben Affleck was making that movie, I would have been all about that shit. Because I actually thought Ben Affleck was a great Batman.
Ben Affleck definitely should still be Batman. Yeah. He looks like Bruce Wayne.
I mean, he's such a fucking nerd. He's such a great writer and producer. But that's neither here nor there. Batman vs. Superman, as much as I hate that movie, is better than what we just watched. So
a lot of things are better than what we just watched.
I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. But yeah, no, it didn't feel like there was... I want to say it feels like it was a cash grab. And if that was the case, it definitely failed. I mean, we're talking 2010. We're not even into like the height. We're still in 360p3 days.
Yeah,
and
like
we're not even into like the height of some of the video game stuff. I mean, obviously, we've had
what they wanted to do. I feel like with this movie, right? Especially at the timing, because this was around the time when, you know, fighting games were having like a big resurgence, because this was around the time that, like, you know, Street Fighter 4 came out.
And that's MVC3.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom. Well, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom first. And then, like, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You know.
So that would have been Tekken 7?
No, Tekken 6.
Tekken 6, yeah.
Tekken 6, you know.
And Street Fighter Cross Tekken was somewhere in that time.
It was somewhere after that, which that game was so fun. That game was so fun.
If you want to talk about a movie, we're talking about doing crossovers and shit now.
They should do a Street Fighter and Tekken movie.
Yeah, just boy.
Animated though. animated.
I mean, I would love to see it live action, but you're right. It probably would be better animated.
It wouldn't translate as good live action. I don't think. Honestly, I don't think a lot of these translate good as
that
live
would probably,
action.
I mean, you do instead of doing that as a movie, you do that as like a limited TV series. And
do it as like a Netflix series or something.
You get like 5 or 6 episodes because you can spend 1 or 2 episodes. You can set up the Street Fighter world. You can set up the Tekken world. And then you have the rest of them crossing over. Like that would probably work pretty well.
You can make them like long episodes too. Like you can make them like about like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe even an hour. You can make like a bunch of mini movies.
Yeah, I mean, and then yeah. So,
but yeah, like, I don't know. The plot was kind of confusing for this movie.
It really wasn't a fucking.
And honestly, with these type of games as well, like you just let them fight. You know what I mean? Like, you just let them rock.
Yeah. All right. So, I think that's all we've got for this movie. Thanks for listening to us fucking talk about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
As is a tradition around here, we do. What would you rate this movie? Trash, hot ass trash.
This shit was hot ass trash.
I'm in agreement. This is hot ass trash. Now, we watch hot ass trash, so you don't have to. But if you do want to watch this movie, it was on Pluto for free, and I'm pretty sure you could also rent it off of Amazon. Please don't waste your $3.
Please don't. And I will go ahead and throw this out there too. If you do want a nice little, KOF thing that isn't just the game that you want to watch, they do have an old anime I just looked up. I don't know what it's called, but it's somewhere out there. They also had a nice CGI series that is actually, all the episodes are on YouTube. It's called King of Fighters Destiny. That's really good. So if you want some really good KOF stuff, watch King of Fighters Destiny. Definitely. I definitely recommend that, to get your extra KOF media, but also try KOF 15. Why not? Honestly.
All right, so this has been Certified Hot Ass Trash. We've told you where you want to watch it if you do. The only thing left is, if you've got any questions, comments, or anything of that sort, I would love to hear from you. You can find me in a couple different places. You can find me on Twitter at average_Joe_E, or you can find me at the AJMCC. That is the MovieCast official Twitter. You can find us at the AverageJoe'sMovieClubcast.com. You can send us emails directly to me and or Justin, asking all sorts of questions or even comments. You can leave them below, of course. And you can always find me on Letterboxd at letterboxd.com/Joey_P. We've already mentioned it before, but where can we find you at, Devon?
I usually stream every day on my Twitch, twitch.tv/blankoctober. That's all one word, lowercase, uppercase. I don't think it matters because it's just going to go to the page anyway. You can also follow me on Twitter at the same name, at Blank October. You can also follow me on Instagram at the same name, at Blank October, even though I don't really post on there a lot.
For the gram,
but yeah, definitely you can catch me mostly on my Twitch stream. Come through, mix it up in the chat. It's fun loving. You can watch me rage at stuff. I'm always raging, but trust me, a lot of people find it hilarious. It's great. Got a lot of cool games we usually play and everything. And then, of course, if you want to keep up with, all the commentary and stuff, I already told you, you can follow my boy Black Jesus 2121 on Twitch. And of course, anything that I'm getting into, I always retweet about it or something on my Twitter, so you can always keep up with me. So yeah, definitely come through. I would love to see you there in the stream, not just because I want more viewers.
And I will do my best to put all of those links and stuff down below in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description rather. I'm really bad at this YouTube thing. If you haven't already, please like, sub, all that good stuff. Or maybe you think we suck. I mean, leave me that comment too. So that being said, thanks for joining us on Schlock Talk, and y'all have a good night. So, do you like podcasts? Did you want to ever make your own, but just thought it wasn't for you, that it was too hard? Well, it really isn't that hard if you have the right partners. I mean, Justin and I, we use Buzzsprout, and it's been fantastic. It's real easy to use. It gets you listed on like every major podcast platform. I mean, we're on Pandora, we're on Stitcher, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're there. It just makes it super easy. You get these cool looking website that you can customize. You got these awesome audio players that you can just pick up and drop into other websites. It's the easiest way to promote your episodes. It really is. And not only that, but you go to Buzzsprout and you've already got 100,000 other people already using it, can tell you how great it is. It's just really the best way to go. And if you want to get started, all you got to do is take some gear that you already have. I mean, I started with a gaming headset, and we moved my way up. So it's not hard, I'm promising you. And if you want to get started, you just click on the Buzzsprout affiliate link in the show notes, and you get a $20 Amazon gift card. If you sign up, and it helps us out too, and it's just good all around.